Sorry for the crappy video quality. I am in my tent. I have left a new place shelter. I was tired of their fuckery. Kevin Pounds, Heather Bush. I think Tuna quit or resigned or whatever. But they were all basically covering for Marcus. Bush didn't tell me that she used to be a safe harbor caseworker. They're partnered with Safe Harbor. They're pushing this vaccine crap, stealing from HUD, helping Safe Harbor steal from Medicaid, Medicare, marketplace plans, all that shit. Helping Cuomo, who's an Epstein ally. Safe Harbor falsified their medical records, one batch of which they didn't even have consent to make. I'm not their fucking patient. The other notes were from an emergency refill on my heart medication during the COVID lockdown. So I still wasn't their established patient. And the code, Title 26, actually allows doctors to write prescriptions for patients that aren't their actual established patients under emergency circumstances. And they went in and falsified those notes too. And that's why they wouldn't release them to me. Took 3 months to get them, and the only reason why I got them is because Economic Services sent me to the police department because somebody went online pretending to be me and got Vermont Medicaid in my name, and it was Safe Harbor. The cop basically accused him of it, which was also homicide, capital homicide, to avoid RICO detection. And then basically said he was going to go solicit criminal complaints against me from them, knowing I'm terminally ill, knowing that I was immune from prosecution or subpoena because Economic Services told me to go to the police department. It wasn't an option. I had to go. I knew I was mandated to report it. That's why I went in there and talked to them in the first place. So that's why they're lying and trying to maintain the story that I just arbitrarily went in there so they can justify. They're stalking, basically. They're making knowingly false, malicious criminal allegations to justify these people stalking me. Well, Pounds was giving them beds, giving beds to these idiotic private investigators and criminal informants, one of which is a registered sex offender. So I had a feeling somebody there was doing that anyway, because somebody gave Joseph and the little Italian guy, said they worked for a Boston attorney, beds very quickly. So I went back in there to see who was doing it. I knew they weren't going to help me, but I couldn't, say, well, I don't think they're going to help me. I had to prove that they weren't going to help me. I let them prove it. So I've gotten my arm up so my light doesn't completely black out my face. But I'm in my tent. I'm very comfortable. I've got, take my headlamp off. I've got a sub-zero temp sleeping bag and a wool blanket. And then I have more sleeping bags and more wool underneath of me. I'm perfectly comfortable. I'm more comfortable here than I was ever at that fucking piece of shit shelter that's basically helping University of Vermont and Safe Harbor and COTS traffic humans. It's human trafficking. They're bullying people. They're deliberately hurting them. They're molesting them. Hell, the one guy I caught masturbating outside my tent, and he did that several times. Then he somehow he knew where I was going to be the morning he found me on Market Street before Christmas when I flew a sign, which I was baiting them to see if they were still following me, which he showed up, put $5 in my can. I still have the $5, so we have his fingerprints. But he had to have, he wasn't down there shopping. How the fuck did he know I was going to be down there? How the fuck did he know where I was at? Plus, nobody, when I filed the restraining order, nobody asked what he looked like. They knew. So then you have the actual registered sex offender, Daryl Galloway. Yeah, I'm far more comfortable out here. I go to the restroom at Hannaford's. I have plenty of water. I have to go up there to get water because water freezes. I do have a cooler, which it's actually got water in it, and it's actually not freezing. You put a hand warmer in there, and it keeps the water from freezing, but I drink quite a bit because I have to drink my protein shakes, and I have to stay hydrated with Gatorade, so I go through at least a gallon a day, so I go up to Hannaford's a couple times. I'm fine until I get out to the sheriff's department and they make another referral. But they're not going to keep pushing COVID tests, hoping, but they'll lie about somebody being COVID positive just to justify locking that place down in hopes they're going to keep me from prevent me from getting access to the life-saving medical care that I need. So I'm not going to be terrified wondering what fuckery's coming next. Out here, I have nothing. If anybody comes anywhere near me, I'm going to hear them crunch in the snow. They're going to leave their footprints. They're going to be caught on trail cam that's actually buried in the snow, but I left just a small enough hole that, and it's waterproof and weatherproof, so I'll check the batteries every so often and then just repack it in the snow. But yeah, if anybody comes out here, it's going to be captured, and my people know where the trail cam is at. Exactly. I took photographs on a different camera that has no service and saved it on an SD card. Made a movie of it, actually. So I'm fine. Hopefully I'll get sequestered soon. I'll go back out to the sheriff's department and let them know they need to call again. And the next motherfucker that shows up out there will do their job. Or the last time I would have let the lieutenant know, but he left before the guy ever got economic services on the phone. And then came back towards me, and I met him outside, and then he's telling the story about, oh, I just need cold weather housing in a hotel room. I didn't realize he was lying to them and then trying to get me to play along with that bullshit. Had I known that, and I did go back in and said, I didn't accuse the guy of anything. I just basically told him what they told me. And he kind of looked funny, but I don't know if he was just looking out of the side of his eye because he had to turn his ear to hear what I was saying. He was one of the deputies. He may have had another position, I don't know, but he went to look for the lieutenant. Lieutenant had left. So they know I'm going back out there. They know that I'm not going to play along with their BS about calling economic services and saying, oh, I just need housing for for cold weather. That's a whole different grant, and it still doesn't get me a victim's advocate that will help me get a restraining order on these fuckers in the city, county, and state government that are using their government resources to stalk me and know what hotel I'm in and put PIs in those hotels. Those days are over. So I'm fine. I'll make videos periodically, and I'll explain how I am surviving sub-zero temperatures and quite comfortably. I took a 3-hour nap today. I wasn't cold. I was very comfortable. I'm going to sleep very well tonight, that's for sure. But I'm fine. Do I look cold? Do I look uncomfortable? I promise you I was uncomfortable at that shelter. I couldn't. I put on a good face, but nope, nope, nope.